Hi everyone, welcome to the next video in this fish page series from Rita Berman's water book. We're going to be doing this fish today, as you all know if you saw the thumbnail for the video. So let's come in nice and close. Now I rather like this here, it looks rather like little roses on the top there, but I'm trying to think about what colours to use. I feel like blue is like the obvious choice. I think we might do a sort of blue and gold maybe. So taking some darker blues, just grabbing the blues that I think will work. Yes, let's have a go. Right, let's have a look at a little fish. I think I'm going to grab my darkest blue first, which is the 33. 33 is our cobalt blue. I'm going to give it a sharpener. It's not really dark. There are much darker blues in other sets, but it is the darkest we have to work with. So I'm going to start here. Now I'm going to work more intensely here, put more layers and less towards the middle. If you're joining this series part the way through, you can go back and do the others. Now they all have glitter pen on them, so I would always advise to work in one direction. If you're right-handed like me, work from left to right so that you don't smudge your glitter. I'm also working from top to bottom. You could leave all the glitter to the end if you're worried about smudging it. It's what I usually do, but because each of these videos is almost a standalone one, then I figured it might not quite work, because if you just want to know how to colour a blue fish, for example, then you might tune into today's video and not be too worried about the rest of them. So I'm still making that more intense there, but we're going to go down here and lighten a bit towards the middle. Gosh, the sun's very bright. Like that. I thought it was going to thunder. Now the sun's come out. And then this one will go down towards the middle. And we can try and fade it a little bit, but I don't want a really pale bit in the middle. Ooh, it's made my eyes go funny, the sun going in and out. They don't adjust as well as the camera to the changing light. I'm just starting down here because this bit needs to be a little bit more intense, and I can just do less layers as I go up. Oh, got a black bit there. There we go. And my eyes seem to get quite tired. I was actually close my left eye and realise it's only a really small area of my right eye that I can see the television through my glasses in focus, but close up it's absolutely fine. So it's obviously just my prescription has changed, so I'm going to try and fade that a little bit towards the middle. Normally I do the tail quite differently, but this seems to be joined to the body, so I'm not going to worry about that. I'm going to actually do the sort of background bit all in the same colour probably across the whole fish. I think that's what I'm going to do. Not that I'm making it up as I go along. Now this blue and gold, so I'm going to use number 16 for my gold. Okay, I think it goes quite well with blue. Now here we have lots of dots, and we have dots on the tail. Like with these fish, the dots are too small really to fill in, so I'm going to colour over them with this gold pencil, just so I can get a really nice even, well, as even as I can, layer. I find if I'm trying to colour around little tiny spaces, it makes it really difficult to get a nice even sort of fade on my colour. So I'm going to colour over them and then go over them in a pen, because we need some areas to use with our metallic pen anyway. So we can do those dots in. I will probably do them in a blue, but it depends on what not metallic, they're glitter pens, aren't they? Depends what shade of blue we've got. But we'll worry about that a little bit later. Well, we won't worry, we'll think about it later. There's no worrying to be done. I was, you would have possibly seen my flip through of a mandala book that I was gifted, that I did. And in the beginning of the book there were some instructions on how to relax before colouring, to take some deep breaths and curl up and that sort of thing. And I was thinking about that this morning when I woke up in bed. I was woken up by our doorbell. There was an incident outside, it wasn't too serious, but someone had been trying the doors of the cars, my neighbour, and went out to talk to the person who wasn't aggressive or anything. They actually said they were just cold and they were trying to find somewhere to keep warm. But anyway, he sent them away because it's always difficult. Are they just saying that? Are they trying to steal the car? What's going on? Had no idea. Anyway, he went outside and talked to him, and he unfortunately locked himself out, so he needed a key. And we had been woken up by the voices anyway outside. I'm trying to work out whether to do this dark from the bottom and lighter in, or dark from that bottom and lighter in there. I think I'm going to make it darker at this end and then fade it that way. And then we can just sort of mix it in once we get to here, just a sort of faded bit, I think. Oh, sorry, I need a hanky. It looks quite orange in the screen, but it really doesn't look gold and blue. It just looks gold with a bit of blue. But anyway, it's fine. I'm okay with it. We're going to add some more blue in a bit anyway, so I'm just going to put a light layer here. And then I'm just going to intensify some of the areas. I can hear some rumbling outside. I don't think it's thunder though, I think it's a lorry. Sometimes I can't tell. I don't know whether I'm just a bit rubbish. It doesn't really matter. Right, it's not like we have to rush and cover the mirrors. Is that what they used to do back in the day? Right, number 3, which is our blue, I'm going to use for this bit here of the fin. I'm just going to block it in quite dark, I think. And then this bit, I'm going to use different blue in there. I'm going to fade it towards the edge like we have with our other fins. So it just means putting down some layers near the centre. And then just fading them, not putting so many layers on the edge. And if it doesn't look faded enough, just go back in and add more layers. Make sure you sort of, yeah, that's it, spread them out. So husband went out this morning for coffee before breakfast. I'm going to just do this inner swirl with this. I'm going to keep it fairly evenly coloured. I think it's much easier than trying to do anything fancy. He's decided that he needs a walk every day. He finds that if he walks every day, he loses weight. So he wants to walk every day, which is good. And he's always too tired in the evening. So he's decided that every morning he's going to walk to town, have a coffee and come home again. So he did that this morning, and he took some photographs while he was walking. He spotted, not only did he spot a heron, which is always a joy, he spotted a female, this is the Delft blue, mandarin duck, with a baby, and he got a photo. Unfortunately, when we went out, me and the boys went out to the post office, I said to him I wasn't going to go out for a walk with him early because I needed to go to the post office later. when I went out with them to the post office, they were all gone. We didn't actually walk along the canal path into town, but we did it on the way back, and we didn't see anything very much. So they obviously all disappeared. But sometimes once it gets a bit busier, the wildlife disappears anyway. So we went into our local supermarket and it had completely changed. It's really strange. Overnight they put in a lot. They have about 5 self-scan tills tucked away in the corner, and overnight they had moved them to a more central position, taking out some of the regular checkouts, and had I'm going to grab my glitter pen in yellow and in the most regular blue. There's a light blue and a dark blue. I'm going to take the darker blue. So I'm going to start with the blue, and that's number 738, and do the dots on the tail. So yeah, it was very odd. I said, why have you done this to the lady on the till? Because I like going to the till and talking to the ladies. There's a lady who served me today, and she has known me since before I was pregnant with my boys, and she went to the school that they went to, and so she's always quite fascinated by finding out how they're getting on. Anyway, so we saw her, and I said to her, oh, I don't really like this. I said, why have you done it? And she said, well, it's just because our competitors do it. Yeah, I can see that. But it's odd, because I like talking to the people on the till. But my son said it's because it's becoming more socially acceptable. This is number, can't see the number, 703. Sorry, twisting it around the wrong way. I'm going to do, on this black line here, I'm going to go over this one. Yeah, my son said it's more socially acceptable to be an introvert these days, so that's why they are able to do it. I'm not sure that is quite the reasoning, to be honest. I think they do it because it's cheaper. They potentially don't have to pay as many staff. I mean, on this, they usually have 1 staff member on their 6 self-service tills. When, you know, if it wasn't self-service, you'd have 1 staff member on every till. And today they had 2 staff members, I think because they were trying to encourage more people to use them. But I don't like the idea of using them at all. So I will try hard not to, because not only do I like talking to the ladies and gentlemen on the counter, I feel like I want them to be employed. It's the same as in the post office though. They've got some self-service machines to weigh your post and pay on a credit card, and actually I do use them when there's a really long queue, and if I've just got a really simple thing to do, I do use them. So maybe I will end up doing it, but I always end up doing it wrong and having to call a staff member over anyway. So let's tip this so you can see the glitter a little bit. There's not quite so much glitter on this one. I could do a bit on the top, but actually I'm happy with what I've done. So there he is. So it's supposed to be gold and blue, but it does look a little orangey, but I have used number 16, which is the golden ochre. So I'm not sure why, even to the naked eye rather than in the camera lens, it looks a little bit orangey. But anyway, there he is. He's done. So yes, pop back tomorrow. We've got a floral fish. So what do you think I'm going to do for that one? Wait and see. I will like to know. Well, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great day and happy colouring.